Yo, what's good, guys? How is it going, guys? Second stream of the day. Um, I'm hoping I'm able to do these streams a lot more. But I just wanted to kind of get on and chill. I mean, I'm gonna be on the charts right now, anyways. I was gonna review some trades from today. I didn't really like today's market too much, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. So there definitely is some stuff that I do want to go ahead and kind of just learn for myself as well. Not only to just teach you guys, but also for myself, because I'm not the happiest with my trading today. Although I pretty much ended a little bit break even today, a little bit red. That's like break even pretty much. Like I barely lost anything. There definitely is some trades that, I mean, there is some stuff in the markets today that I do want to kind of just hold myself accountable with, and kind of just learn and just not do it again. Although I've been doing really good. Hold on, turn this on. There you go. Although I've been doing really good on my trades recently. Like you guys know, we have been on a pretty good winning streak, and all that good stuff. Today I kind of threw that away. Well, I didn't really throw any profits away. Like I said, I didn't really lose much at all today. But I definitely, like I said, I'm just not really proud of my trading today. I took a setup in the morning that I typically never really take, and of course it costed me because it was such a garbage setup. Um, but yeah. Anyways, so pretty much right now, guys, I'm not gonna be like super energetic on the stream. No, I'm not live on Discord, by the way. It's just YouTube. I'm just gonna, like I said, guys, today's just right now. It's more of like a chill stream. I'm not trying to go crazy. Like, oh my god, guys, okay, here's how, you know what I mean. I just kind of want to like I said, I'm just on the charts right now. So I kind of just wanted to get on chill. Maybe you guys have some questions. You know, feel free to ask ahead and everything. But I was gonna be using the website and just kind of testing it through, putting my strategy into it and just getting my data overall. And obviously you guys can always tune in and watch and learn something new as I go ahead and journal. This is typically how I journal by myself when I'm not streaming. So the fact that I'm doing it on live, maybe you guys can learn something new and, you know, all that good stuff. And for everyone saying what's up and yo, welcome guys in the chat. Like I said, I'm not gonna be super active with the chat. I will be active with it, but I definitely do want to be a lot more locked in on the charts today because I definitely have some stuff to learn for myself. Like I said, you guys know we have been going crazy on the charts, and it's good because, you know, our rules are made for that. But today I definitely did break some rules behind two of my trades, kind of, maybe just one of my trades, but because for those that don't know, I took two trades today. One of them being, let me show you guys. One of them being a winning trade, and one of them being a losing trade. So the losing trade was this morning, which was, let me see. I was gonna alert longs, but I never even taken them. Anyways, so this morning I ended up taking longs, which was a really good setup, and we almost saw the price target on it, but we missed it by like 7 points, and it ran straight to our stop loss. Which this is the trade I'm not really happy with at all. Even if it did work out, I wouldn't have really liked it. So I'm not really the most proud of this setup here. And then obviously I took another setup later today, which was NQ shorts, which ended up playing out into a price target, which wasn't on NQ, but it was on ES, which I'll explain later on as I'm actually journaling my trade, and teaching you guys and reviewing everything, right? So in the meantime, what I was doing before I started the stream was I was actually trying to prepare the website, but I didn't really find too much time to finish it. So what I'm doing right now, guys, is I'm actually making my strategies so I can actually have it written down under my account. I completely wiped out my account from, you know, all the testing and everything, so I'm just redoing everything all over again. Before I started the stream, I went ahead and just did the strategy tab. So for those, a little bit more context, for those tuning in, I pretty much, me and my friend, or my friend and I, if you want to have proper grammar, my fault. But my friend and I, we actually ended up, we've been taking the last few months to, and a lot of money, a lot of time, every single day, hours upon hours, building this website so we can not only help ourselves, but also help you guys actually find more consistency in your trading. You know, a lot of you guys, you guys know how to trade, you guys have strategy and everything, but when it comes down to actually putting that into, you know, back testing and data, you guys, a lot of people, or at least, you know, in my server, a lot of people find it very hard to journal, and they don't know what to put in, they don't know what to look for. So we went ahead and just took matters into our own hands, made a whole website, and we're going to be holding every trader accountable, at least every trader that's using it, and we're going to be helping them to the most actually learn to see what's going wrong, to actually help them find that issue and fix it with practices and journaling and data and so much more. And we're actually even implementing AI into it. So we can really dig in, deep in there and really find the issue and really help you guys out. Now, obviously, everyone has a different issue. Some people might be going through some emotional stuff. Maybe some people don't respect the rules. Some people don't have proper risk management. The list can go on and on. So we're making sure that we're pretty much covering and helping you guys out with any issue you may have, whether, like I said, it's emotions, strategy wise, chart wise, sizing wise, revenge trading. It could be anything, right? So yeah, we're pretty much doing that. But yeah, like I said, in the meantime, right now, guys, I'm pretty much just building my strategy here. I'm just writing it down into the website, so when I actually input my trades, I know what strategy to select, and it has all the rules and checklists, which will go ahead and grade the setups as we take them. All right, guys, because typically when we're taking setups, we like to say, oh, we're taking an A+ setup. But what makes that setup A+? It's not just because you feel like it's good, right? There's a whole rule that goes into it. There's a list of rules that go into it. So I'm making sure that I'm writing that down as we speak right now. I already pretty much wrote down the inverse fair value gap strategy, but as you can see, I have 2 tabs up here. So right now I'm just making the fair value gap strategy. So I'm gonna catch up with the chat in just a second, guys. But I'm gonna finish doing this. If you guys want to follow along, maybe just chill out and just be in the background, and just chill. Like if you guys have any questions, I'll check it out in just a second. Let me just finish this up in the meantime. All right. But yeah, let me just finish this up. So right now, I'll kind of guide you guys through it as to what I'm doing. So pretty much with my strategy, if you guys may be new here, which if you are, welcome. But if you're not, then you guys know what we do to find our bias, right? So when it comes to finding our bias, we always want to be looking for our most recent DOL taken out, because the reaction based off the most recent DOL taken out is always going to give us our bias, right? So if you guys are looking at the strategy that I'm building under the website, which is obviously just my strategy that I trade on a day-to-day basis, you guys will see here that the bias in context pretty much just means that, in order for us to find our strategy, to find our bias using this strategy, you must identify where the nearby drawn liquidity sits. Once the most recent DOL has been taken out, look for the reaction. Pretty much just means is, okay, if price is trading up into a level of liquidity to the upside, and we take it out, what is the price doing? Are we sweeping it and going back down, or are we still holding above it and going even higher? If price is able to hold above the drawn liquidity after it's been taken out, then you obviously sit bullish until the next drawn liquidity even higher gets taken out, and you rinse and repeat that process. Same thing goes to the downside, right? So I'm pretty much just applying this concept or this context into both my inverse fair value gap strategy and my regular fair value gap strategy, as this is how we find our bias in just a more general way. All right, guys. Now the entry sequence will be a little bit more different when it comes to taking inverse fair value gaps and actual fair value gap trades, right? And the reason I say this is because the entry sequence for fair value gaps is a little bit more different, because obviously you're inversing a fair value gap rather than actually taking a fair value gap continuation trade, right? So yeah, for those that don't know, now you do. My strategy, it comes with 2 entry models, 2 semi-different entry models off a fair value gap. Sometimes we inverse fair value gaps, sometimes we actually look to retrace into the fair value gap, not inverse it, but retrace into it, and then maybe bounce or reject from the gap. So that's what I'm kind of writing down right now. Also, let me lower this a little bit. Sorry, guys, I have some music on. I usually journal with music on. Like I said, I was trying to have more of a chill stream. Like, I don't want to be like super crazy, super energetic, and pretty much answering every question in the chat. Like, obviously, I'm gonna answer most of them. But the whole point of this was just to test the website, maybe have you guys look, watch, look around, and if you guys have any questions, you guys let me know, right? But yeah, for the entry sequence when it comes to fair value gaps is once price has taken out the most recent, after price has taken out the most recent deal, well, and you have found you have identified the reaction, whether it's bullish or bearish, from DOL continuation or DOL sweep. Let me see. So once price has taken out the most recent drawn liquidity, you have to identify the reaction, whether it's bullish or bearish, from a drawn liquidity continuation or DOL sweep. Depending on your bias, if there's a fair value gap that aligns with this bias, you can look to can look for price to retrace into this fair value gap, not inverse. And depending on the FEG, you can look for a is this available for everyone? Not yet. We want to make it a public by next week. The website's pretty much ready and completed. We just have to do some more legal stuff and, just make sure the website is running correctly and everything. So that takes a little bit of time. And also in the meantime, I also do want to rebrand the Discord, like change the logo, change the names, change the channels, and just make it more professional. So we're still working on that. And that's why I'm streaming right now. I'm not really expecting too many viewers or for many of you guys to engage. But once again, if you guys are interested in learning, I am going to be reviewing the trades from today as well. Right now, like I said, I'm just building the strategy, so I have context as to what model I trade when I'm reviewing the trades, right? But it should be ready by next week. Are you streaming in the Discord? No, it's just a chill stream on YouTube. Nothing. I'm not live trading or anything. I'm just reviewing some trades and just journaling pretty much. Like I said, I'm just I'm reviewing the trades from today because I'm not really the happiest with my trading style today. So there's definitely some stuff that I need to learn, and maybe you guys too as well. Is it free for Discord Premium members? It'll be free for everyone for some time. But we'll see pricing wise how it goes in the future, because we are running some stuff that does cost us a little bit of money. And overall building the website. So we at least want to try to make something back, at least. But we don't know about that just yet. So we'll let you know once everything is ready. But the website is not even live yet, so I'm not going to tell you guys a price when, it's not live. But if we do release it, it will be free for some time, just so you guys can try it out, use it, see if you like it, give us some feedback, and maybe find some bugs too. You know what I mean? So yeah, it'll be free for a while. All right, bro. But yeah. Anyways, so yeah. So depending on the fair value gap, you could look for a bounce / rejection. Okay, so when it comes to actual checklists, you could do... Okay, so obviously, I'll just copy and paste these because it's the same thing. So obviously, price has swept the nearby drawn liquidity. So you have your bias. Perfect. And then let me see if this aligns. Price has direction with aggression. Yep, we need that. Wait, actually, no, you could rewrite this. So price is bouncing / rejecting. I can't even write that. With momentum. Price bouncing with rejecting with momentum from the fair value gap. I guess I could just say from the fair value gap. I can't really write everything, like it will just block me out because there's a limit to it. So I'll just say yeah. So price is bouncing / rejecting with momentum from the fair value gap. Always make sure that the volume is there. So I could just put like volume / momentum. And then obviously we don't really need an MSS model because in most cases, I'll just put here like MSS model, but I'll make it optional as well. Because in most cases, when you're taking a fair value gap trade, you don't need a reversal, because when you're taking fair value gaps, it's usually more of a continuation model. So I could just put like the market's creating higher highs and higher lows, but it's completely optional for you to have it. So yeah, actually, let me just make sure. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it'll be more optional if anything. Actually, I think it's supposed to say required and then optional. So I'll just edit that here as well. There we go. Yeah, everything here is required. There you go. And then here, okay, so what else are we missing? Price has inverse of fair value gap. No, we already wrote that down. Room for higher. Oh, yep. We need to write this down, obviously, for our price targets. Okay, so yeah, that's required, optional. And by the way, if you guys have any feedback, you guys can always let me know in the chat. Maybe if you guys have any ideas as to what you may want to see added into the website, or maybe something you feel like could help you out, or anything in general, you guys can always let me know. Like I said, we're still building the website. It's pretty much done in terms of our standards, but maybe you guys have some higher standards and you have some other ideas. You can always let us know. All right, guys. But yeah. So anyways, and by the way, I haven't gotten into the trade reviews just yet, guys. Like I said, I'm just building my strategy in the website, so I have it in the journal. So when I'm reviewing the trades, it's all organized and all put into one place and all into one category. All right. So if I'm having trouble with fair value gaps or inverses, right, I can always go into that category and just journal it down. Can you also review other people's trades? Yeah, why not? Now, unfortunately, since we are on YouTube, you guys cannot send me a picture of your chart. So if you guys want me to review some of your trades after I'm done reviewing mine, just send me your trades over in the trading chat in my server right over here, which I'll send the invite just in case you guys are not in it. And just send it over in the trading chat. Just send your chart here and I'll check it out. Give me some context behind what you took, why you took it, and so on. And I'll let you know, give you some reviews behind it. So yeah, like I said, just send it over here in the trading chat and I'll check it out. If you guys need me to. All right, but I'll review my trades first, as I feel like that's what a lot of people took as well. All right, guys. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, let me just make sure everything here is correct. So when we're taking a fair value gap, typically what we need, actually, I'll just draw it out. I'll just put it here in the chart example. So for the stop loss, we could always use a stop loss at a nearby draw liquidity, which is the usual. So we could just put here our stop loss right here. We could just copy and paste this. And by the way, if you guys want me to copy and paste this into the YouTube chat, just in case you guys need some reference, let me know. I can always send all of these rules over in the YouTube chat so you guys can write it down too. All right. And then take profit depending on your bias. There you go. Depending on your bias, you want to target any nearby fair value gap above or below, and or target any nearby draw liquidity. Invalid market conditions, same case goes here. Any red folder news, any economic/war related news, which is typically just Trump news. Price delivery is weak, which is what happened today, which I will review. Price is moving very slow. Yeah, today price wasn't moving slow. It was actually moving too aggressive with no momentum. Draw liquidity is taken right before you enter. Okay, so yeah, I have to rewrite some stuff here. So what we could do here is we can actually delete the draw liquidity taken right before, because typically this encourages you to actually take the trade. So yeah, for fair value gaps, we'll just leave it as the normal here. So for chart example, okay, pre-trade reminder. Let me actually just write this down before I do that. There you go. And then for the chart example, I could just probably just draw something out more like this. So typically when we take fair value gap trades, let's say, so we have DO here, PT, right? And then actually, wait, let me just do this instead. It'll look cleaner. So horizontal line, let me just actually fix this up here. There you go. Okay, so this will be the drawn liquidity, price target, right? And then let's just say that price is, I have to do this for the inverse as well. But let me see the chat. I posted my trade in the trading chat. Okay, yeah, I'll check this out. I do see it right here. I'll check it out in a minute, which I'm seeing net delta. Oh, okay, well, this is not really my strategy, so there's only so much I can review here from what I'm seeing. Let's see. I saw price failing to break above the 750 call wall on QQQ. Net delta flip bearish. Oh yeah, bro. I do not trade this strategy, bro. I cannot review this, bro. I'm so sorry. Dude, I'm gonna tell you some random stuff, bro. I don't know what I'm looking at, bro. Yeah, this is kind of more of as an option trade, bro. Yeah, dude. I you know. My bad, bro. My bad. I really only review trades with my strategy because, I can always teach you what I believe, But if you're trading a different strategy and I'm not really too familiar with it, it's going to be a little bit complicated for me to give you a good read or a good, whatever the case may be. Anyways, so, okay, so let's say we have drawn liquidity here. Then we have a drawn liquidity here. DOL, swept, taken, and swept, right? And then we have another drawn liquidity. Oh, what the heck? There you go. Another drawn liquidity here, and another drawn liquidity here, right? So let's just say price did something like this, where price did something like it went down, boom, took out the drawn liquidity, boom, took out the drawn liquidity, boom, swept it, MSS model here, right? And then the fair value gap was created right here. Then price went up, retrace into the fair value gap, and then bounce into the price target. So you would want to do something more like this. Boom. FUG here. And then you would want to put this here, and then you can put your stop loss at like the candle. Oh yeah, that's what I did wrong. I was about to say I knew I was doing something wrong here. So yeah, so when it comes to stop losses, you want to place your stop loss. Okay, so yeah, you typically want to place your stop loss. Let me rewrite this. Okay, so you typically want to place your stop loss at the bottom of the fair value gap of the bottom of the candle, bottom slash top of the wait. Top slash bottom of the candle that bounced slash rejected from a fair value gap, from the fair value gap, and align this stop loss with a 1-to-1 RR from your DWell. Just put price target from your PT, right? Yeah, that would be a way better stop loss. Typically, that's how I do it when it comes to trading for regular fair value gaps. I don't really use drawn liquidity biases as my structure stop. I just use candle lows or highs, depending on the rejection or bounce. Anyways, let me finish drawing this out here. So you could do like the candle low here, and then just put your drawn liquidity price target right over there. So you do something like this. So I'll go ahead and copy this, and then just paste it over here. Perfect. That's just so we have more of a reference as to the model that we are trading. Okay, yeah, well, there it is. Okay, now let me actually make an example of the IFEG because I did not put a chart example here. So when it comes to inverse fair value gaps, we can use the same exact reference to the point where, let's say, we can do something like price goes down, boom, boom, chops out, you know, tries going up, boom, and then we create a fair value gap here, right? And then we bounce back up, we get the drawn liquidity, and then we inverse the fair value gap right there, and then we just shoot it up into the price target. So we could do something like this, where, by the way, guys, if it looks like I'm doing random stuff in the chat, bro, my bad. I'm just making the journal here. It's nothing, you know, nothing crazy. You know, I'm gonna delete this. I don't think we need this. It's just like me building it real quick. So if I'm confusing you guys, I apologize. It'll be quick. Like I'm almost done with this, and then once I'm done with this, we can go ahead and review the trades from today. So yeah. So then, okay, so the MSS model would be right here, right? MSS model. Let me see. David, you may not understand my stuff, but I don't understand the shit from this. Like I said, bro, my bad. I'm just doing it for myself. I just decided to stream today, just, you know, so you guys can maybe just watch and learn. But I'll explain all of this in just a second. It doesn't make sense now, but trust me, it will make sense in a second. But just give me a second. I'm just trying to like finish this so I can be locked in and just not take forever in building it. So MSS model will be right here. And then your entry model would be off the inverse, which would be right there. So you will enter right here, put your stop loss at the drawn liquidity. So your structure stop loss will be right there. And then your price target will be all the way up here. Boom. So yeah, guys, my bad if this all looks like Chinese, bro. I'll explain it in just a second. It'll make sense in just one little second. Okay, so now we go to, let me see, IFG, add chart example. And then paste right here. Okay, there you go. Save changes. Okay, there you go. Anyway, so now I have both of my models pretty much done here. We're pretty much ready to go ahead and start reviewing the trades from today. Like I said, guys, today, pretty much the trades that I ended up taking were 2 trades, 1 long, which got stopped out, and 1 short, which played out kind of. Like I said, I'm not the happiest with it, but I will definitely review it and obviously make sure that I'm able to journal everything down so I have data and learn what I did wrong today and how can I improve this mistake so I don't make it tomorrow or for the rest of this week, right? So yeah, now that I pretty much made the strategy and everything out here, which by the way, Blast, your technical analysis is golden. Thank you, bro. Your MS is kind of weird, no? What do you mean weird? What do you mean? This right here? No, it's not weird because this is the bottom of the market, right? Of the trend, right? And then after the drawn liquidity is taken out, we've turned bullish right here. So this is your main low, and your main high, right? Then you have a higher, you're going from creating lower highs and lower lows into creating the main low, main high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So your MSS model goes from being bearish right here, right? So you have a bearish structure here, right? Because of your lower high / lower low, right? And then the market, obviously, the whole reason why we have a bearish structure is because our objective is down here at the drawn liquidity, in which we took it out right here, and then we swept it right here. And as you're sweeping it, you notice that the market goes from creating a bearish structure into a bullish structure with from lower highs and lower lows into higher highs and higher lows, if that makes sense. All right. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense to you, bro. I didn't mean for it to come out confusing. Like I said, this is just a drawing, so it makes sense to me. I'll explain everything now in just a second. How do you see a pullback versus an MSS? Well, a pullback is just, okay, look, so now that I have this, I can delete all this, right? So pretty much what a pullback is compared to an MSS model is an MSS model has confirmation, right? So remember, the market will always have a trend, right? The market will either consistently go up or consistently go down, right? So in this case, right, let me ask you right here, right? So right here, let me ask you, right? Right here. What is your bias here and what is the trend and why? When you say main low and main high, is that because of the structure change? Yes, right? So the main low, the main high will be the first high and low created as the structure is changing. All right, but yeah, Joey, before I move on to obviously actually journaling my trade in the website, let me kind of quiz you a little bit to see if you're actually getting it, right? So once again, right here, what do you think the trend and bias is and why? All right, one little hint here, both the bias and the trend are aligned, right? So exactly, you're bearish because of the lower highs and lower lows. Exactly, right? Now, let me ask you something here, right? Right here, right? The market is going up. So right here, your bias is bullish. Why? Well, your bias is bullish here because we took out the objective, which is the drawn liquidity down here, right? And we're holding above the objective after price has been taken out, which means that the drawn liquidity has been taken out and the drawn liquidity has been swept. Perfect. Okay. So as you can see here, buyers are stepping in here, confirming a DOL sweep with a bullish bias, right? So why is this not an MSS model compared to this? Because here, look, here we dumped, then we pulled back, then we dumped, then we pulled back, then we dumped, then we pulled back, then we dumped, and now we're pulling back. So how do we know if this is going to be an MSS model or a pullback before we potentially go lower? Well, it all comes down to confirmation. Right here, it's too early to tell if there's an MSS model. Why? Well, let me ask you guys in the chat, right? Why do you guys think, although yes, we are sweeping liquidity and we are getting bought up, why do you guys think this is not an MSS model yet? Right? Let me know why you guys think that in the chat. And I'll give you guys some time, take your time, it doesn't matter. Displace the lower high, that's the MSS. No? Well, yes. Actually, you're actually correct. Yes. That's actually the answer I was actually looking for. Wow. Okay, well, really good answer. But yeah, really, really good answer, actually. Yes. So right here, this is technically, although we are sweeping liquidity and getting good buying pressure and we have a bullish bias, on paper, this is technically still a pullback. Why? Because look at the pattern, right? The market is dumping, pulling back, dumping, pulling back, dumping, pulling back, dumping, and pulling back again. So how do we know if an MSS model is forming or if it's a pullback? Well, if the market goes back down and fails to create a lower low and instead create a higher high and a higher low, then your MSS model starts forming, because you're going from creating lower highs and lower lows constantly right here, right? So you have a bearish structure by creating lower highs / lower lows, right? Into now taking out, first of all, taking out the objective down here at the drawn liquidity, into then taking out the drawn liquidity. And now, instead of us pulling back and going lower, we're actually going up, pulling back and going higher, right? So your MSS will be right here. This is not a pullback because the market failed to create the pullback. Instead, we broke past the previous candle high, right? And as we're breaking past the previous candle high, you also notice that the market is creating higher highs and higher lows from the previous lower highs and lower lows. All right. So yeah, sometimes a pullback will always come first, but it really all takes time. You got to let the market actually build the structure. And then once it builds it, you have that confirmation. All right. That's what I always tell you guys. Be patient as you guys are entering, right? Because, this could always be a pullback or an MSS model. You always need to confirm this. All right. But the way you know this is just a structure change, right? You're going from creating lower highs and lower lows into not creating higher highs and higher lows, right? After the objective has been taken out. All right. So yeah. Thanks for the clarification. I got you, bro. I got you. Anyways, let me get back into this over here. So once again, guys, now that I have pretty much the whole thing pretty much just journaled out and pretty much just built and everything, it's time to actually start reviewing the trades from today, which is most likely why you guys are here, right? If you guys saw the stream from this morning, guys, the only trade that we caught on stream was unfortunately a losing trade. The setup was really good, in which I will get into in just a second from now. But the trade itself didn't end up working out due to one specific reason, in which I know what I did wrong, which is why I'm here reviewing it, right? So once again, for those that don't know, I ended up catching two trades today, one being a winning trade for about 45 to 50 points depending on your entry, and then the first trade being a losing trade for about minus 55 points. All right, which was a good setup, just not the best conditions, which I'll show you guys how to avoid, which I knew to avoid it, but I still took it, so yeah. Anyways, so once again, guys, let's pretty much get started with this review here. So I'm gonna go over to my journal tab here. Well, when you guys are using the website, you guys can either use the dashboard in which you can log your trade, share your P&L from the day or for the week or for the month. You can also import your trades from your own broker, which I won't do. Well, I can, but I don't feel like doing it because I have to go to TradeAway and download the CSV file. But why do that when I already have everything all journaled out here? So I'll just use this as my journal, right? Or as my entry model, right? Or my entry price, if that makes sense. But yeah, okay. So if anything, it's the same thing. You can log the trade here or log it through the journal. It's all the same thing, guys. All right, so I'm just gonna do it here, right? So the first trade that we took today, which I will be reviewing first, right, was the NQ longs trade that we took right here at 10 in the morning, right? So yeah, with this trade, we ended up entering, let's kind of get the basics out of the way, which we ended up entering at 30,946. So we took this trade in the morning, we took longs. Today, we took this trade on M&Q, right? Entry time, we took it at 10 in the morning, 08, and then just 00 a.m., right? And then exit time, we ended up getting out of this trade at 10:15, 00 a.m. And then for the entry, my entry was at 30,946, with my price targets being at well, there's no point of putting a price target because we didn't really take any partials. So the exit price would be at, let's just say 30,975 with a stop loss at 889. So yeah, the risk reward wasn't even that good on this trade. That's why I told you guys, even if the trade would have played out, I wouldn't have been the happiest with this trade just because we were trading a pretty bad risk reward. To be honest, I was probably going to target a little bit higher anyways. So instead of using this as my main price target, I'll probably just use this as my main price target. Wait, let me just make sure. Yeah, I'll probably just do this as my main target and then just put my risk here. Either way, the risk reward would be pretty bad. So yeah, wait, let me see. Oh yeah, because this got stopped out. And then with this trade, I ended up taking a 5 contract trade. So I lost exactly 500. I ended up losing, I believe, $573 because of slippage and everything. I got filled like a second later. So yeah, and then the fees, this is automatically adjusted from my settings from Apex. So I paid like $5 in fees. Okay, so let me see. Okay, yeah, so 5 contracts. This is how much we lost. And by the way, guys, this website does everything for you. So all you have to do is input everything, and it'll just do it all for you. All right, guys. And then the AI coach is the AI algorithm that we built into it. We'll go ahead and pretty much check everything out and then grade the setup for you guys and show you where we made the mistake. All right. Whoa, is this website live? Not yet, bro. We're so close to launching it. I think it should be ready by like next week, hopefully. That's why I'm currently doing a stream every single day after market close to journal some trades, whether it's from today or from the day of or from last week or from wherever, so we can make sure that everything is running correctly and you guys can learn something new and see how the website actually works. All right, guys, this is dope. I'm glad, bro. I'm glad. But yeah, guys, so yeah, pretty much once again, everything here is all done automatically with the fees and everything. Once again, you can always import all of these into the website, but I'm doing it manually just so I can show you guys. But yeah, so we pretty much just ended up taking a 1.4 a minus 1.4 R trade with this one. So not the happiest with this risk to reward, but it is what it is. The setup was there, it was good, but conditions weren't all that good. All right, so with this setup, we actually ended up trading an inverse fair value gap strategy. So you can go ahead and just obviously here, you guys saw me do it for like the first 20 minutes of the stream. I pretty much just built the strategy and pretty much explained to the website what strategy I trade, what I look for, how I look for it, and what conditions we need to actually go ahead and trade it, right? So we actually ended up trading an inverse fair value gap trade here, right? So I went ahead and selected the fair value gap trade right here, right? So we didn't take a regular fair value gap, we took an inverse fair value gap. All right, so we'll go ahead and click on that. And obviously, you guys will see here, as you guys are checking out the website, I mean, not the website, checking out your journal, everything, the coach is actually reading everything carefully and making sure it knows what to guide you on, depending on the mistake that you actually went ahead and made. So far, we have fed the website or the journal our entry and stop and our setup that we took, which was an inverse fair value gap trade. All right. So now let's go ahead and see if the setup actually ended up confirming or lining up with all of our confirmations. So let's go into the chart, right? I'm gonna delete all of this since I'm not gonna use it anymore. Right. Once again, guys, I apologize if I sound a little bit sick. But yeah. Let me see. David, can you explain your strategy? It'll be nice to upgrade my knowledge. Well, this stream isn't really to explain my strategy. It's kind of more to break down the trades that we took. Because if I break it down, the stream will just be way too long. So if you have some free time later today after the stream, just go into my YouTube channel and all of the videos that you possibly need on my strategy, they're all in there. All right, bro. Nah, you're good. You're good. No need to say my bad, bro. You're good, bro. It's just the whole point of the stream is just to kind of review and all that good stuff. But yeah, bro, if you have any questions or if you want to learn or something about my strategy, just go into my YouTube. All my videos are there. Literally every video that you need is all there. All right, bro. So yeah, just check it out. And if you have any questions, you're in the Discord. Just ask ahead and I'll help you out. All right, bro. So anyways, so guys, we ended up taking this setup on the 5-minute time frame today. Was it the 5-minute time frame? No, I think it was a 15-minute. Yeah, it was a 15-minute actually. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete all of this stuff. Actually, I'm gonna go into MNQ actually, and just remark my chart here, so I can actually review this all in a timely manner. So we actually ended up taking longs from here, right? So let me just go ahead and retype all my levels. So give me 1 second, guys. Let me just do all this. So we had a deal sweep from 796, which was the candle before the dump. So right here. Right, I'm just gonna quickly skip through these levels of liquidities, guys. Bro, until when is the premium? What do you mean? What do you mean until when is the premium? Yo, Blast, how did you size? I'm doing 20 and the math is crazy when I scale out. What do you mean? Oh, like when copy trading? Oh, I have a setting on my TradeAvate that I don't have to do the math behind it. I don't know if that setting still exists. It should exist. I don't know why they would remove it. But yeah, I have a setting where if I take a regular trade on one account, it will just copy on all my other accounts. Do you use only TradingView? To chart, yeah, but to trade, I use TradeAvate. Anyways, let me just make sure I have the fair value gap marked out. So I used the fair value gap from here today. And I'll make sure to explain this trade for you guys in just a second. Don't worry, I'm not skipping on anything, guys. Do not worry. Actually, I ended up using this fair value gap instead. My bad. There you go. And then we had a level of liquidity all the way up here. What else am I missing? Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this or replay this a little bit back. And then I had a level of liquidity at these highs here. So pretty much up here at 975, and then we had another one pretty much up here. It should be at 987, and another one here, and then our final one up here, which I believe is all-time highs. Yeah, 30,100, which it is all-time highs. Okay, perfect. All right, so let me show you guys something, which I actually have to show myself, so I also have to be paying attention, right? I can't only just teach you guys. The whole point of the stream is for me to actually learn my lesson from today. All right, let me see. Let me catch up with the chat, bro. Until when is the? Well, you're repeating the same question after me telling you like I don't know what you mean is not really gonna solve anything. Like what do you mean until when is the premium? Like until when is the premium discount is what you mean? If so, maybe like the next few days. Like I said, guys, I'm gonna completely stop doing discounts on my Discord. Once I release the website. I want more like I don't know. I just feel like I do too many discounts. Like, oh, the discount. Oh yeah, well you should have been more specific. I'm gonna do the discount maybe for the next few days. So yeah. So yeah, once the website releases next week, if we end up releasing it next week, I'm gonna turn off the discount and probably not do it anytime soon again. So yeah. Let's see. I hope you learned your lesson. Yeah, dude, today was so stupid for me, bro. Anyways, so let me show you guys, right? Because I have to learn this for myself too. Okay, so guys, the whole reason I ended up taking NQ longs today was for two specific reasons, right? And those two reasons came from our bias. All right, guys. So coming to market open today, we had a fair value gap on the 15-minute time frame right over here, right? As you guys see, if you guys zoom in here, right, you guys will see that we had a 86-point candle on the 15-minute time frame, which obviously is more than double than what we need for a valid fair value gap on both the 5/or and the 15-minute time frame, right? So obviously here we have a pretty valid gap here, right? And inside of this gap, we had a rejection point, which also counts as a level of liquidity at 30,899, right? Or actually 30,889, actually, right? So coming to market open today, the first thing that we did is we actually pumped up and almost inversed this fair value gap, right? What I mean by almost inversed it is, yes, we inversed it, but we didn't get enough of an impulse above the gap to go ahead and enter, right? And before we entered, the market actually dumped down, took out the nearby low all the way down here on the 5-minute time frame, right down here at 30,796.50. We took out this level of liquidity and then we swept it right back up, right? So here what you would do is put hold above this DOL equals bullish bias, right? And at the same time, as price is heading higher, you guys can also see that we had another level of liquidity inside of the gap. So here we can also put, if we hold above this fair value gap, you know, it can give us an extra +1 confirmation for a more of a bullish bias, right? So if we are able to hold above 796 and 889, we sit bullish, right? Do you have a class in your Discord going over your strategy? Oh yeah, bro, I have like a million classes, bro. If you go to my Discord, and this goes for everyone in here, if you go into my Discord and click on YouTube videos or day trading guide, anything that you need in my strategy, I review it all here, and I make sure to like explain what each stream is about. So if you guys are stuck in like a specific, you know, maybe specific thing on what to learn, you know, I make sure to put it all here. All right, guys. So yeah, if you guys do want to learn or check out some videos, I have dozens of videos here and more videos here. And if you guys are in the premium, I have more videos here, all organized, and more videos here on each strategy. All right, guys. So if you guys want to learn something new, it's all in the Discord. All right. But yeah. So anyways, so let me go back to the trade that we ended up taking. So yeah. So in this case, guys, like I said, if we're able to hold above this drawn liquidity here, we could definitely look to be a lot more bullish and inverse this bearish value that we have with room for higher, right? So as I play this next candle here, you guys will see that we ended up getting a lot of buying pressure here, right, above 796. So far, our bias sits bullish, but not extremely bullish until we're actually able to hold above 889, right? In which we do right over here. Wait, in just a second. Right there, right? So right now, we're sitting pretty bullish, right? So as you can see from the setup, right, so far, we're trying to take this trade. Looking at market open, it doesn't look so choppy. But you guys got to keep in mind that we're looking at the 15-minute time frame. If we go ahead and look over at the 5-minute time frame, oh, dude, like, how did I not? Oh, dude, it gets me so mad how stupid I am sometimes, bro. Because, guys, right here, bro, it's like, bro, obviously, anyone can look at this market and it's common sense. We all know that this market is not moving. So why did I take this trade, bro? It's okay. Yo, not like that either, bro. You know, I like to hold myself accountable, bro. It's how I learn, bro. I like to learn the hard way. You know what I mean? It's, you know, I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. You know, if I did something wrong, I'm going to hold myself accountable, right? It's how we learn. You know what I mean? It's you versus you. So if you lie to yourself and you tell yourself that you did good, you're only going to keep making the same mistake, right? So we're here to learn, right? So yes, very stupid mistake from me. I'm not happy with this, but yeah. So once again, the setup wise, the setup was good, right? We have a very bullish bias, very good buying pressure in these two candles here. Bullish bias above 796, bullish bias above 889, and we are getting an inverse from the 5 and 15-minute bearish value gap right over here. right? Do we have room for higher? Absolutely, right? So what we do here to go ahead and enter is we place our stop loss at, or we place our entry at the inverse. We find, since we're not going to be using a stop loss at our drawn liquidity for the structure-based stop loss because it's way too wide for over 124 points, what we could do instead is track our nearest price target. Here it's 55 points. So we're going to drag our stop loss to a 1-to-1 risk reward. So we would put our stop loss at 55 points right here, right? Boom. And then we can have our extra price targets a little bit higher, right? But since we're going to be taking most profits at PT1, we want to be making sure that our stop loss aligns with the 1-to-1 risk reward, right? So yeah, everything looks good here, guys. But I feel like the biggest mistake that we made with this setup, guys, is the price action. It's like I guess I was so blinded with the 15-minute time frame that it looked good on the 15-minute, but I knew that the 5-minute looked horrible. Yeah, I still decided to take it, right? And then the thing is, we were right on the setup. Everything here worked out perfectly. In fact, we saw green on this trade, as you guys see right over here, right? Let me show you guys, right? So this trade almost hit our price target, right? But due to chop and due to a very indecisive market on the lower time frame, look at what happened, right? So yes, we saw green and we saw profits in the trade and we almost took profits, but unfortunately, the trade did not work in our favor, and not for any bad reason, mostly because we took a trade in conditions that didn't meet our rules. And that's where I went wrong with this first trade, leading us to get stopped out, unfortunately. All right, so let me go ahead and just actually go ahead and journal this so we can all learn something new and have this as our data so we can learn in the future what to avoid and what to trade if it actually works. All right. But yeah, bro, it's hindsight 2020. No, but the thing is, I even said it on stream today. I'm like, guys, I don't like this market, but I'm willing to take this trade with light size. I shouldn't have taken the trade because I broke my rules no matter what. Even if the trade worked out, I would not have been happy with this trade. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm definitely not very happy with it at all, but we learn, you know what I mean? We learn, we move on, right? So let's get to journaling. All right, guys. So yeah, let me just open up the website here and let's get to doing it, right? So now that we pretty much broke down this setup, let's go ahead and confirm everything to be good, right? So once again, setup wise, yes, this setup was pretty much perfect, right? So let's see if it was perfect, right? Because remember, perfection comes from a list of rules. If you're missing one rule, then it's not perfect, right? So let's go ahead and see what we have here, right? So price swept the nearby drawn liquidity, yes, right? And then this confirmation here gave us our bias. So you always need to make sure that price takes out the nearest level of liquidity and gives you a reaction so we know exactly what to work with in the market. Our levels of liquidity will give us our map. It's our map in the market. It's how we know where the market wants to go to, why it wants to go there, when it wants to go there, and so on, right? Now, price has direction and aggression with momentum. This is not confirmed, right? Yes, price has aggression, but price did not have momentum, right? And that's where we went wrong in this trade, guys. So we will not be checking this out. Did we have room for higher / lower into the fair value gap / drawn liquidity above or below? Yes, we had room for higher into the drawn liquidity above up here. So yes, this was confirmed. Was the MSS model formed by creating higher highs and higher lows in our... Oh, I actually put higher highs and higher lows and higher lows. I have to fix this. But what I meant here is higher highs and higher lows. Yes, our MSS model, or our structure, not MSS model, but our structure was definitely there because the market was creating higher highs and higher lows constantly. As you guys see here, we have our main low here. Higher low, 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 and so on, right? So yes, the trend is bullish, but we are missing momentum. So yes, we have our structure here, right? In which I have to kind of retype a little bit because I only put MSS model. Does AI grade your log? Yes. Yes, it'll get to that in just a second. Right now, we're just filling it out so it actually knows what to grade, right? And price inverse fair value gap with aggression in volume. Well, yeah, it did actually, because we entered right here, and as we pumped up, we had some pretty good aggression above the inverse, right? So yes, this did check out here, right? So the only thing is, yes, the setup confirmation-wise was pretty good, but the only confirmation that we were missing was the price has a direction with aggression and momentum. We had aggression due to big candles over 100 plus points per candle, but we had no momentum, right? So we cannot check this out. Now, how would we grade the setup on a pre-trade conviction, right? So for me, I would say, you know, when I was taking this trade, I sounded a little bit not so confident. So I'll give it probably like a solid, like, I don't know, maybe like 7 out of 10. You know, like I still believe the setup would work, but it was all right. You know what I mean? Right? But yeah, anyways, so my emotions before this this trade, I feel like I was pretty I'm not gonna say I was confident. I'm not gonna say I was focused either. I wasn't disciplined because I broke my rules. I would say I'm kind of like more hopeful, I would say. Guys, the reason I'm saying wait, let me drink some water here because I'm drinking up. Yeah, I'm talking a lot, guys. My fault. One sec. Sorry, guys. Anyways, so the reason I'm saying I'm a little bit more hopeful for this trade was because before I entered, I did know that I was doing something wrong, right? And what I was doing wrong was I knew that I was taking a trade in conditions that I don't typically trade. In fact, these are conditions that I typically always skip out on so I can take the best setup when the conditions get a little bit better, right? But in this case, I was more hopeful, right? So yeah, I would say the setup was a solid 7 out of 10 in terms of entry and conviction and everything, because we had everything confirmed, just a lack of volume and a lack of, direction, right? And then obviously, like I said, my emotions before I entered this trade is I was hoping for price to break out into our price target from our entry, right? And yeah, the thing is, when you have a hopeful entry, you're it's kind of a gamble, right? Because you know that you're taking something that you're not supposed to be taking. But as you're taking it, you're hoping that it plays out in your favor, and you're hoping that you get lucky and it plays out into your favor. And that's what happened today with the first setup that we took, right? And actually, the AI model is telling us our first mistake, right? Pre-trade emotion, hopeful, right? Hope means that you're already negotiating with the chart, which is exactly what we were doing. The chart was telling us that the market was not very decisive. In fact, it was very indecisive. It was very choppy, no momentum, no nothing, right? You've left your analysis behind and enter a storytelling chart, right? Hope for entries, hold losers too long, it will come back, and exit winners too early. What did we do today? Well, our risk reward was actually pretty bad, right? So that's exactly what we ended up doing here. So the chart, the AI is already seeing what we're doing wrong, right? The setup either qualifies as its own technical merit or it doesn't, right? There's no I hope it works in a process-driven system, and that's exactly what happened today, guys, right? So this is what the AI is telling us so far with this trade, and in fact, it hasn't seen the full trade just yet, right? If it's clearly an A+ setup, the word would be expecting, not hoping. And if you guys tuned into the stream today, you guys knew that we were not expecting higher. We were hoping that we got higher off an inverse when we saw the momentum already be a little bit bad. All right, guys. So yeah. All right. So anyways, emotion after we exited this trade. Honestly, I would say a little bit more, I guess, anxious, right? And the reason I personally felt a little bit more anxious behind this trade was because as I entered and I saw price struggling to go into our price target, I kind of told myself, I'm like, damn, I kind of just forced out a trade when I knew I shouldn't have, forced it out, right? Because I knew we were forcing out a trade in a market with no momentum, right? So that's pretty much why I felt a little bit more anxious after I exited the trade. And as we can see here, pre and post both off baseline, baseline, my goodness, bro, my bad. Right, so yeah, pretty much the journal or the AI in the journal is telling us that we entered off a balance and exited the same way, right? We didn't enter this trade focused. We didn't enter it with a set of rules, right? We broke our rules, right? So that's what we're doing wrong so far in the trade. The next entry from here is statistically your worst, right? Take a real break and before re-engaging and entering, go on a walk, get some fresh air. Because in this case, guys, if I'm feeling like hopeful and not really following my rules, and I'm feeling anxious as I'm trading, that's not gonna be very good. This leads into getting tilted. This leads into over trading, oversizing, and revenge trading. That's why the AI model is telling us to actually go on a walk, get some fresh air, and come back once you feel a lot more refreshed, which is actually one of the best signs we could have gotten here, right? So that's why you guys saw that after we took the loss today on stream, I went ahead and quickly got off the stream and I told you guys, get some fresh air. We're going to come back later if the market actually improves. All right, guys. So I went ahead and followed my rules off this, which is a good sign. All right. Now, did we follow our plan? I would say partially, right? Which actually gives us a better grade in the setup, right? So we went from a 44 out of 100 into a 59 out of 100, right? we've partially followed our plan because we didn't take a random setup. In fact, we had our bias, we had some buying pressure, we had a breakout, we had room for higher, we had an inverse, we had everything. The one thing that we were missing, guys, was our momentum. We were missing momentum. As you guys can see here, price was very, very choppy. All right, guys. So yeah. So in this case, the AI model is telling us that we did some things correct, right? So we did our bad things here, right? But we did some good things, right? So actually we have to fix a little bit of things here. But yeah. So anyways, so let's go into execution mistakes. All right. I'm assuming this is gonna fix as we do this, right? So wait, let me see. Okay, there you go. So guys, execution. Let's see what we did. So did we get a late entry today? In fact, we did, right? If you guys look at my alert from today, you guys will see that we actually ended up entering NQ longs slightly above the fair value gap, right? In this case, we got a late entry on purpose. All right, guys. And the reason we got a late entry on purpose was because, like I said, before we entered, I knew that the market was very, very choppy. So as I was entering, I told you guys, hey, I'm going to look for a late entry because I want to be making sure that if I enter, I want price to be holding above the inverse of the fair value gap, which could take some time after we inverse it as we get the impulse, right? So we did get a little bit of a late entry, right? We didn't get an early entry. We didn't miss our entry. We didn't chase anything. We didn't get a bad fill. We didn't really move our stop. We did place a stop loss. We didn't hold for too long, and we didn't cut the winner short. We didn't chase price, nor did we go against a counter trend, nor did we size incorrectly. So the only mistake that we made here was kind of the lead entry. Right now, let's go into our mindset. Right? Did we get any FOMO? No. Honestly, I didn't really get any FOMO because I knew what I was looking for. Did I revenge trade the setup? Nope. Did I hesitate? Not really. Not really. No. Did I tilt? No, because this was the first setup of the day. Did I get bored? This was a trade because I was bored. Not really. Was I overconfident? I guess you could say I was overconfident because I did put out a trade in a market that was a little bit choppy. But I'm not gonna say I was overconfident. In fact, I was hopeful. So this was a hope trade. All right. Now, as far as discipline goes, did we break any of our discipline rules? Did we over leverage? Nope. Did we have a plan? Yep. Did we skip a checklist? Yes, we did. Right? Did we trade news? Not really. Did we trade outside of our normal session? Not really. Did we overtrade? Nope. Did we break our max loss rule? Nope. And did we ignore our A+ filter? Yes, we did. Right? So yeah, anyways, here, now let's go ahead and start reviewing our setup here. All right, guys, as you guys see, this is a very detailed journal, guys. Once again, the whole point of this website, guys, is when a lot of traders like me and a lot of traders like TGR, RP, or any big trader out there, when you guys ask them, hey, how do I learn how to trade consistently? How do I get an edge for my system? Right? They always say journal. But what does that mean? Right? There's so many ways to journal. There's so many things to keep track of, and it can get very, very overwhelming. So once again, guys, the whole point of this website is to help you guys journal your trades all in one place. All right, guys, is this going to be all included in the premium? For now, yes, it will be completely free for a little bit as we release. And then once everything is ready, you know, we'll probably change some things up. But yes, it will be free for a pretty good time. All right, bro. So yeah, don't worry about it, bro. It'll be good. You guys know I got you guys. All right. But yeah, anyways. So let's go into explaining why we broke some of our rules, right? Obviously, we broke our rules for a reason, right? Maybe we saw something, maybe we felt a certain way. You know, it could be a million things. All right, so let's go ahead and see the first mistake that we made which was actually entering late. How costly was it? To be honest, it was pretty minor because we actually ended up adjusting our stop loss to our entry, right? So before we entered, our stop loss was gonna be placed down here, as you guys see on the chart, right? But since we got a later entry, we went ahead and just dragged our stop loss higher up, right? So we actually didn't end up getting a very costly mistake in terms of entering late. So I'll just put minor there, right? What triggered it? Well, did we hesitate on the entry? No. Did we doubt the setup? No. Did we get distracted? No. And did we wait for better price? Yes, we did wait for better price. All right. Okay, so now in this case, what will I do differently? Right? Well, in my opinion, I don't really think we made too much of a mistake on the late entry. So with this setup, right? With this mistake, I don't, well, hold on, guys. Feel like I made sure to adjust my stop loss to my late entry so I don't over risk. All right, guys. So yeah, like I said, yes, we did make a mistake in terms of entering late, but we didn't really make as big of a mistake as we think, right? So we don't really have to punish ourselves in this case here. Right now, a hope trade. How costly was it? It was very costly. It was a session ender, right, guys? Yeah, it pretty much ended the whole session, which is why I got off stream, right? We took a trade based off hopes, right? Well, the trade was there, like the setup was there, but we were hoping for price to be better as we entered, which is not what the market was showing us at the time. All right, so yes, it was more of a session ender. What triggered it? Well, did we refuse to take the loss? No. We respected our stop loss. Did we believe the bottom was in? No. Did we anchor to the entry price? Did we want the trade to work? Yes. This is what it was, right? We were hoping for the trade to work out, even though our confirmations were telling us not to take this trade, right? So what will we do differently in this case? Well, if we can say here, if we're about to enter a trade and we're second guessing the setup, avoid it, right? It's simple, right? It's simple. In this case, the market had no momentum, and I was hoping, I would say I was hoping because I can't really fit everything in there, but yeah, I was just hoping for price to go up, right? I was hoping for a push, right? I was hoping for a push. Unfortunately, I cannot write everything there, so I'll just put hoping, and I was hoping, right? Whatever, right? Anyways, next thing, we skipped a checklist. How costly was it? It ended our session, right? What checklist did we skip out on in our strategy? Well, we didn't wait for price to have aggression and momentum, right? So yeah, it was a session ender, right? What rushed it? Were we in a rush? No. Did it look obvious? Pretty much, right? Confidence from the prior win, or were we on tilt? Well, I definitely wasn't on tilt, right? I was actually feeling really good, so I would say it looked obvious, right? Once again, price looked, I mean, this setup looked really good and had most confirmations checked out. So I thought taking it wouldn't hurt, but I ignored the main confirmation, which obviously was very costly. So I'll put the main confirm because obviously I can't fit the rest. So confirmation, right? Anyways, we ignored the A+ filter, right? Obviously, if we're not taking an A+ setup, it could be very, very costly. So I would just put here, session ender. Let me see. Took a see. I don't know what BC. I have to ask my friend. Maybe he wrote that. Took a trade out of boredom. It was A+. Here it is. No, right here. Slow session, right? So obviously with this setup here, or with this discipline rule, right, we had a slow session. We lowered the bar, right? So we lowered our standards as to what a good setup actually looks like, right? Confirmation wise, the setup was perfect, but with the lack of momentum and direction, as we entered, price randomly dumped due to let's just say due to momentum, right? Right? Anyways, for the wins, what did we did right? All right, well, let's go ahead and see, right? Because obviously we didn't only make mistakes with the setup. We took the setup for a reason, right? So let's go ahead and see what we had here, right? What did we do right in this trade? Did we follow our plan? Well, I would say so. Yes, we did, right? Were we patient with our entry? Yeah, I would say so, because we didn't enter instantly as we inverse. We waited for price to confirm that we wanted higher, which is where we entered, hence off the late entry here, right? So we waited for price to hold above the inverse to go ahead and enter. So yes, I would say that this entry was a pretty patient entry, right? Did we have a clean stop loss? Absolutely, yes, we did. Why? Because we placed our stop loss at the structure of the drawn liquidity at 889. Once again, as you guys remember, right? If you zoom back, the drawn liquidity at 30,889 is a level of liquidity. So we're actually using a structured based stop loss rather than a random point based stop loss in the market. So yes, absolutely, is this a really good stop loss? Yes. Did we hold any runners? Unfortunately, no. Did we trust the setup? Absolutely not. No, we didn't. Right, which is why I was so like hesitant as I was entering. Did we cut the trade quickly? Not really, right? We held to the full loss, right? Was it an A+ setup? No. And then we scale in. Well, I don't really scale into my trades, so I will not check this out. All right. Some say here, oh, B through C. Oh, yeah, that's right. My bad. Wait, what? Is it actually? I gotta ask my friend. But yeah, what is the website called? It's called Trade Critic. It's our new website, but it is not live yet. I'm planning on launching it sometime next week. But we want to make sure that everything works as intended. Because we don't want to be launching anything that's buggy or anything that doesn't work. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm on stream right now, just testing it. Although we don't have too many viewers, one thing I will say, guys, is for my people in here watching, huge shout out to you guys. You know, thanks for tuning in. You know, all that good stuff. You know, what I mean, you know, obviously everyone always wants trades, and not many people are always looking to improve. But if you guys are in here learning and asking questions and actually looking to improve your trading, huge shout out to you guys, man. You guys will make it far in here, man. Seriously, you know. But yeah. Anyways, so yeah, this website is not live just yet, but we're gonna launch it sometime next week. All right. Anyways, so yeah, so we did some pretty good stuff on the wins. Okay, so what does this trade teach the future you? Here we go. Right. So this trade here, how do you put definitely? Is that how you put definitely? No, definitely not. Okay, definitely. Okay, there you go. Definitely. This trade definitely taught me that if I'm hesitant / second guessing the volume / momentum, skip the trade. 9 out of 10 times, it's not worth taking. There you go. Okay, so notes. I mean, in terms of notes, to be honest, we kind of already wrote our note here, so there's not much to really do here, so I could just rewrite the note. There you go. And then chart screenshots. All right. So I'll just put here, we could do our entry model. So we could just copy it, paste it there. And then we could just paste our stop loss, which was right here. There you go. Right. And then we took this. Oh, wait, let me just actually redo this because we actually took this setup on the 15-minute time frame. So yeah, let's do that. And yeah, guys, real quick, I know we don't have too many viewers in the stream today. Once again, not many people usually tune in for the reviews because people always just want trades from me, which is fine. You know, I don't really care. But for my people actually watching, guys, what do you guys think about the website so far? Do you guys think it's really clean? Do you guys think it could really help you out? If you have any feedback, let me know, guys. We're still working on it. So if you guys think there's any features that can make it better, let me know, guys. Let me know. We can definitely consider adding it into the website. All right. But yeah, so let's go ahead and save the trade. And yeah. Hold on. This breaks one of your rules. Trade score is 28. Is okay. There you go. So look, the website is literally telling us, you know, like, hey, like before, you know, hold on, you know, let's double check something, right? So yeah. Anyways, let's see what it says here. So hold on. This breaks one of your rules. The trade score is 28. So we got a 28 out of 100, which is a terrible trade, right? It's below your 65 minimum, right? If you're overriding, say, well, no, we actually didn't override this. So let's go ahead and step away. Wait, actually, no. Let me just put testing here. I'm just going to put testing. There you go. Testing. Let's just override and log. There you go. Right. There you go. All right. So first trade went ahead and journaled, guys. All right. So now let me show you guys a little bit more of the, let me see. Let me see what you guys say in the chat. People complain about losses. Today, yet 90% of them aren't here to learn why. Yeah, bro. Once again, bro, typically when I take a loss, bro, I don't care what anyone says. I mean, they're not really going to affect how I trade or, you know, or anything. So yeah, bro, I usually just ignore them. But you have a very good point, bro. Yes. And not even 90%, bro, like 99%, bro. We only have 37 viewers in here when we usually have like 600 when we're trading. You know what I mean? So yeah, bro, it's definitely, you know, I really wish a lot more people were more encouraged to actually learn how to trade rather than just relying off someone. But hey, you can't really help everyone, and it's just how it is. You know what I mean? So if you guys are in here, like I said, make it. And, you know, I hope you guys, you know, you guys do good, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, let me see. Looks great so far. And I can see I can see it helping a lot of things. Only thing is you should let yourself / us write more. Yeah, we're definitely still working on that. That's for sure. Yep, that's for sure. But yeah, like I said, we're still working on it. Blast, you taught me how to trade. I'm here to support you. Hey, bro, welcome, bro. Thank you, man. But yeah, this good bro dropped this today, bro.
Yeah. Can you quickly review trade 2? Yes, I'm gonna get into it right now, bro. Absolutely. Hey David, do you have any information on the success rate of your indicator in your Discord? I would say it's pretty accurate, to be honest. I don't really use it for myself too much because, I mean, the indicator trades like me, so I don't really need it, you know. But I will say that it is pretty accurate in terms of calling out trades and finding setups. So I would say, like, you know, for an indicator, maybe like 70% win rate around there, you know, maybe mid 70s. It's pretty accurate, I would say, and a lot of people use it, and a lot of people actually do like using it. So yeah. Let me see, David. Do you have any advice on if I have FOMO or too much second guessing? Close the chart. If you feel like you have FOMO, bro, the best way to go about it is close the chart. Because if you're second guessing the setup, which I did today, look at how it turned out. You know what I mean? I ended up regretting it no matter what. You know, so yeah, bro. Just yeah. I use it permanently and it's great, especially for marking out levels. Oh yeah, bro. Every night, if I have a chart with no levels or anything, I always what's it called? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I always use the indicator for it to find the setups for me. Will you be live tomorrow? Yes. In fact, I think Asia's about to open. Oh, never mind. There's still an hour left for Asia. I might trade Asia tonight. Maybe not on stream because I've been on the charts all day today and I'm exhausted. But I probably will trade Asia tonight. Opinion on deep charts? I don't know what that is. Deep charts. What is that? Is it a website? Oh, it's like order flow. Oh, I don't really trade order flow. I know it's good, but I've never used it, so I can't really tell you my opinion on it. Anyways, let's get into the second trade, guys. All right, so once again, let me before I do anything, let me show you guys something here, right? So now, in this case, right, you guys saw that we made a few mistakes with the trade today, the first trade at least, right? And you might be wondering, okay, well, David, you journaled the trade, so now what, right? How do I learn? How do I find the mistake, right? Well, guys, if you look very closely into the website, you guys will see that in your journal tab, first of all, if you go to the dashboard, right, you will see everything that's happening here. Your average trade score for today, how many trades you took so far today, which so far we've journaled one. But if you guys import your trade from your broker, it will automatically do everything here on however many trades you took today. But since so far we've only journaled one, it only shows one. Our win rate is 0% because we've only journaled one losing trade. Our total R is minus 1.4, and we broke one of our rules, right? Which was obviously the trading no momentum, right? Now, let me see. Someone here said, got some new 50K PAs. How much should I scale on contract if I'm able to pass these in 1 to 3 days? Don't scale. Just take full profits. Enter 10 contracts, 10 to 15 micros, and when you see green, take it. As simple as that. You don't scale. Scale only on PA accounts. Anyways, so as you guys see here, our net P&L is about $575, which is how much I lost in the first trade. That's pretty accurate. We didn't make any profits. Our expectancy, obviously, we lost $500, so that's how much we're expecting, and our average loss is also $500, right? Right here, guys, obviously you're seeing the same number constantly. It's because this is averaging every single trade that you've ever taken in the history of your journaling, right? So since we've only journaled one trade, it's only averaging that one and only trade, all right? So let's go ahead and see our next trade that we took today, guys, all right? Okay, let's go, all right? So, well, actually, wait. No. Let's not go. Hold on. Right? So, let me show you guys, right? So, if you go to your journal tab, right, you might be wondering, okay, well, David, right, we journal the trade. And yeah, we're seeing here the mistakes, right? Yeah, we got a late entry. We were hoping for the trade to work out with no rules. We skipped out on a few checklists and 4 other mistakes, right? So, how do I actually learn what I did wrong in this trade, right? Because, yeah, I journaled it, but now what? Right? Like, how do I actually, well, guys, here's where this website actually gets very helpful with AI. All right, guys, because now that you fully journaled this trade completely, right, the AI model that we actually built into this website reads your trade and actually finds what is causing a leak in profits, right? We named it the leaks, right, because this is what causes you to lose profits. You're leaving profits on the table, right? So obviously, in shorter terms, it's just a leak, right? You're leaking profits. Right, so if you go here, right, you guys will see here that we made 4 mistakes with this trade, right? And as you can see here, boom, right? So here we have a coach, right? So wait, guys, I'm gonna go blow my nose real quick, bro, because I cannot breathe, guys. I'm so sorry. I'll be back. Hold on one sec, guys. All right, guys, I'm back. My bad for that. Anyways, so with the first trade that we journaled, right? As you guys are journaling your trades, every time you make a good like a good every time you guys have a good habit or you guys make a mistake, it's all gonna be tracked by the AI, and it will help you actually spot what's causing you to lose the most money and what's causing you to make the most money, right? So in this case, since we took a losing trade today, right, our coach, right, which is our built-in AI system in the website, it's showing you, hey, when you take lead entries, you're losing about $575 on average, right? Well, it's gonna average out every trade that you take. Like I said, we've only journaled one trade, so it's only showing one average, right? But in this case, yeah, so we made a late entry. We were having a hopeful trade. We skipped out on our checklist for our strategy, and we ignored our the checklist that makes the setup an A+ setup, right? So the coach will go ahead and guide you on each and every single mistake, so you can track them by leak. So you might be wondering, okay, well, let's say, okay, well, late entries are being my most costly leak. Well, it will actually go ahead and average it out here by the most amount here, right? Or if you want to look at it by trade, right, it will go ahead and show you each trade. It'll show you the largest losing trade, what you did wrong, and how you can fix it, right? But yeah, let me see here. Someone here in the chat said, is there a setting on the website to reduce text / subheadings, etc., to make it more minimalistic and cleaner to look at? Well, what do you mean minimalistic? I feel like we made it as minimal yet as effective as possible, because I'm also not trying to give you a journal with a pen and paper and tell you, okay, write down your trade. You know what I mean? You know, there's things that we need to, you know, add onto the website. So what do you mean minimalistic? Is that even say it? Minimalistic, something like that. Well, cleaner, right? What do you mean? Like, what do you feel like is not clean in this case here? Because here it's, you know, the tabs that you need, and then just, you know, the journal. I mean, anyways, so in the meantime, while you write that, let me show you guys, right? So in the meantime, right here, as you guys see, there's a little suggestion button right here, right, where it says here, coach my biggest leak, which in this case is late entries, right? They're all the same because we've only journaled one trade, but you know, it's gonna be showing you the biggest leak that you have, right? So it's gonna be just gonna show you the first one. Since they're all the same, it's gonna select one. When you click on this, guys, it'll show you, like, it'll kind of have you review these mistakes a little bit more, right? It'll ask you questions, right? Which I'm not gonna do in today's stream because it's gonna take too long, but I will be sure to do it later tonight once I'm further reviewing my trades without actually teaching you guys, right? So I can actually focus, right? But here it will tell you how to actually fix it. If you're gonna, it'll track your next 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 trades and see if you make this mistake. If you make the mistake, the coach will tell you, hey, you're making the mistake. If you're not, it will tell you, hey, you're actually fixing the mistake, right? It's looking fire, perfect. But do you guys see what I mean? So, like I said, we don't only want to help you guys journal your trades, but we want to hold you accountable and actually help you improve in a consistent pattern. All right. So, for example, if you feel like your biggest issue is late entries, or you're skipping out on setups and taking them too early, you go to your leaks. You go to journal. You go to leaks. And then you click on any one of that you feel like is causing you, which the coach will track for you. But like I said, since we've only journaled one trade, it's showing us just the mistakes that we made from one trade only, right? So in this case, we can select, let's say, for example, I feel like my biggest mistake is hope trade, right? Or skip checklist. You go here to coach, and it'll tell you, hey, set your commitment. How are you going to fix this mistake, right? And as you're journaling, the coach will track every single one of your journals and actually see, hey, is the user making the mistake still, or are they improving and actually fixing the mistake? And it will reward you by obviously tracking and showing you your progress. If you're making the mistake, it will tell you, hey, you're still making this mistake. Let's try to fix it by using your commitment that you wrote here. Whether it's I need to wait for all confirmations, or I need to wait for an impulse off the fair value gap, you know, whatever the case may be, right? But yeah. right? And then obviously the coach reflection, it will guide you through everything here. Pick an angle to attack, then ask a question. What do you believe about the market or yourself in that moment? Were you afraid of what would happen if you did not take that trade? And this is all under skip checklist, right? So each and every single mistake will be completely different, depending on what you went ahead and made the mistake on, whether it's late entries. As you guys can see here, it's different. Actually, no, it's not different questions. I thought it was. We have to fix this then. But yeah, so as you guys can see here, we're encouraging you guys to actually look to fix this mistake. All right, guys, or the mistakes that you guys make. So hopefully this makes sense to you guys. But it's gonna be very helpful. All right, guys. So yeah. Anyways, so once again, if you guys go into your journal, you guys will see that everything is all pretty much written out correctly here. If you guys want to find your journal from today, from the last 7 days, the last 30 days, this month, or all time, or even a custom time range, if you have a lot of journals, right? You can all find it all. Excuse me, I need water. Hold on, let me go get water, guys. One sec. Okay, I am back. Not bad, guys. Anyways, let me see. Let me see. Bro is so overworked. My fault, bro. Dude, you guys know how I work all the time, man. Honestly, somebody say here, the site looks great so far. I can't really pick anything wrong with it. Until hands-on. Oh, until hands-on. Oh, okay. I get you. But yeah, bro, I mean, dude, like I said, bro, this has been months in the making, bro, and we're pretty much almost done with it. So it's really a matter of time until it's pretty much ready. but yeah. So, and by the way, guys, we have a ton of other features. It's not only just journaling the on the website. We have other features like prop firms, back testing, which we're still working on. You could grade your setup as you're taking it. Before you take it, if you want like an extra like AI look into it, you can always ask it and everything. But I'll be showing that as I continue streaming this week. There's so much I can show on the stream, guys. So yeah, there's a lot I really want to show, but if anything, I'll show it tomorrow as well. All right, guys. But yeah, anyways, okay, so let's move on to the next trade, which is the one that we ended up taking later today at 10:54, right? So which was NQ shorts, which ended up playing out for about 50 points depending on your entry. So yeah, it was a winning trade and it allowed me to go back into break even on the day, but we still need to review the setup, right? So let's get into it. All right, guys, let me put on my headphones, turn on some music, and let's chill out. All right, guys. By the way, give me a second. Let me go ahead and make sure everything looks good here. Okay, perfect. Anyways, right? So yeah, someone's here. How do you trade Asia? The same way I trade New York. I mean, there's nothing really too crazy about that. Right. But let me just make sure that my stream is loading good. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Anyways, let's move on to the next trade, guys. All right. So our next trade here is going to be. Wait, let me just close this out. Our next trade that we took today was the one at 10:54, which is NQ shorts, right? So we took this trade today. We took it on M and Q. We took shorts. We took this in the morning at 10 in the morning. Entry time it was 10:54. Wait, 10:54 a.m. Right, and then exit time we got out of this trade at 10:56. So it was a 2-minute trade actually. It was actually a pretty quick trade. A.m. There you go. And then okay, entry. So we took an entry at 581. Our stop loss was at 30,062, and our exit price was I believe I took profits pretty much I think at 545 if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, 30,545. 30,545. And then I ended up taking 7 contracts from this trade here, guys. So as you guys see, like I said, I'm pretty much break even on the day. I'm only down just a little bit. So yeah, on the day. So yeah, so with this trade, I was risking about $1,134. And yeah, not the best risk reward. Once again, guys, I really have to fix my risk rewards. Today they have not been that good, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So yeah, I definitely have to fix this because yeah, risking $1,000 to make 500 is not that good, guys. If I'm being honest. Let me see. The main question I have from trade 2 is what's the difference in where you got out and where TP1 was? Let me get into it. I'll show you. It's actually a very specific reason, which when I explain it to you, you're gonna be like, bro, that makes so much sense. You're gonna see. All right, but yeah, first mistake that we made with this trade was the risk reward was pretty trash. Right, we ended up taking an IFG setup off of this trade. As you guys see, we ended up inversing a 15-minute bullish fair value gap to the downside, right after we swept all liquidity and held below it with strong selling pressure and pretty strong momentum to the downside, right? So yeah, we ended up taking an IFG setup. Now let's go ahead and quickly kind of just check out our checklist, right? So did price take out the drawn liquidity, and do we have a bias from the drawn liquidity? Yes, we do. So that is checked out. Perfect. Okay, next one. Price has direction with aggression and momentum. Yeah, it has good momentum. It has good aggression, right? Good selling pressure. Pretty good to me. I'll check it out. Do we have room for higher/lower into a fair value gap / a drawn liquidity above or below? Yes, we have room into a drawn liquidity here, a fair value gap here, and another drawn liquidity here. So yes, we do have room for lower. Do we have an MSS model? Well, yeah, we have a pretty clear trend, right? We have our main high, main low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Each candle is breaking new lows constantly. So yes, we do have a structure in the market. Although it may not be an MSS model, it definitely is a structure, right? Which confirms lower highs and lower lows being created. And did price inverse the fair value gap with aggression in volume? Absolutely. Yes, we actually had a green to red candle, a full selling candle with very strong selling pressure to the downside. Yes, this was confirmed. So far, we have 5 for 5 confirmations in our strategy. All right, so let's move on to actually journaling this trade, guys. All right, because so far, for now, we're actually just reviewing the trade. All right, I mean, reviewing our confirmation checklist before as we entered. All right, so let's go ahead and see what we got here. All right, so as you scroll down, the pre-trade conviction. What would I rate this trade on a scale of 1 to 10 before I actually entered? Well, let's go ahead and look at it. All right, let's look at the charts. All right, so looking at the charts, right, here we knew that our setup was not good because we were trading in a choppy range. But after we got out of the trade, the market started dumping down, and dumping down with some pretty good selling pressure. As we were dumping down, we took out 2 levels of liquidity in which we did not sweep, right, and we actually held below it, confirming strong selling pressure with a bearish bias. And as we had lower, as we were headed for lower, we had some really good selling aggression, which confirmed that sellers were in control. So I would honestly rate this setup a pretty good. I mean, what could have gone wrong with the setup? I mean, we were below the drawn liquidity for a bearish bias. We had a good momentum. We had a good selling pressure. We had room for lower. We inversed a fair value gap, or we were inversing a fair value gap. It doesn't look bad, right? So I would rate the setup so far. Before I entered, I would rate the setup a good 10 out of 10. Why? Everything here is checked out. Our pre-trade conviction, good selling pressure, good momentum, good hold below the drawn liquidity for a good bearish bias. Everything here looks really, really, really good. So yes, this is an A plus 10 out of 10 setup for now, before we entered. All right, okay, let's go down, right? What was my emotion before I entered this trade? Well, by looking at this chart, I honestly felt pretty confident. Why? Well, guys, the reason I felt confident was mainly because, once again, strong selling pressure. We're selling down into our setup. If we take the setup, we have room for lower. We have good momentum. Everything looks very, very, very bearish here. So why would we not be confident, right? What was our emotions after this trade? Well, for me, this setup was very, very, very aggressive and happened very fast. So I would say I felt a little bit. Anxious, I want to say. The reason I felt anxious after I exited this trade or as I was taking profits was because, once again, the trade today was very, very aggressive. We all saw the volume today, guys. Each candle was over 100 points, right? So any little move could have definitely stopped us out. So as I entered the trade, I was definitely a little bit anxious as we headed into our price target because I feared that price could have randomly reversed, maybe because the momentum could have been off. Right, so yes, I felt confident, but just a little bit anxious as I was in the trade. All right, guys, does that mean I did anything bad? No, I just felt like I was just anxious due to high volume, right? Anything could have happened, right, guys? Anyways, so did we follow our plan, or did I follow my plan? Well, I feel like I did. Yes, absolutely. I would say yes, I fully followed the plan. And the reason I'm saying I fully followed the plan was because we followed our checklist. We took out the drawn liquidity. We had aggression and momentum. We had room for lower if we entered. We had a structure, which was lower highs and lower lows, and price inverse our fair value gap with aggression in volume. So yes, we actually fully followed our plan, right? So let's see if we made any mistake by looking through our checklist. Okay, let's see what we have here, right? Mistakes. Did we make any? Did we have a lead entry? Let me check. Right, so my entry should have been at 591, and I entered at 581. That's not too late to me, to be honest, right? So it was pretty good, right? I don't really think I got an early entry, so we'll skip out on that. Did we get an early entry? Did I enter before the inverse? No, I did not. I entered after the inverse, so I did not get an early entry. Did I miss this entry? No, we took the trade. Did we get a bad fill? We could have definitely gotten a better fill, so I'll put bad fill. You know, it's nothing major, right? But our fill was supposed to be at 591, but we got a fill at 581. So not the best entry, but an okay entry at best, right? So yes, we got an okay fill. Did we move our stop loss? No. Did we place a stop loss? Yes. Did we hold on for too long? No. Did we cut our winner short? I'm going to say yes, but no. I'm not gonna check this out, and I'll explain it to you guys in just a second. Did we chase price? No. Did we go against the trend? Absolutely not. And did we go with the wrong size? No, we did not. Mindset. Did we have FOMO? No. Did we revenge trade? No. Did we hesitate? No. Were we tilted? I wasn't really tilted, to be honest. Not really, no. Was I bored? No. Was I overconfident? Nope. Was I hoping? Nope. Was I fearful with this trade? Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I kind of was, bro. I kind of was, because the volume was so crazy, guys. Today, like I said, each candle this morning was over 100 points. I mean, so yes, it was very, very aggressive. So I was a little bit scared in the setup, guys. So yes, I was a little bit fearful, if I'm being honest. All right. Was I greedy? Absolutely not. And I'll explain why in just a second, especially for Fortunate LV in the chat. For those that don't know, he's asking, the main question I have with this trade that we're reviewing is, what is the difference in where you got out and the price target? For those that don't know, I ended up taking profits before we hit the drawn liquidity, in which I will explain why in just a second. All right. But yes, I feel like I got an okay fill, not a horrible fill, but it could have definitely been better. And in terms of mindset, I definitely was a little bit scared. I would be lying to you guys if I said I wasn't scared with this entry, right? And that's fine. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with being scared, you know, if price is a little bit aggressive, right? As long as you're still following your rules, that's completely fine, right? Now, with our discipline, right? Did we over leverage, which means that we oversize? No, we didn't. Did we have no plan? We definitely did. Did we skip out on any checklist? No, we didn't, right? Did we trade news? No, we didn't. Did we trade outside of the normal session? No, we didn't. Did we overtrade? Nope. Did we break our loss limit? Nope. And did we ignore our A+ filter? Absolutely not. Right? So we didn't do anything wrong in terms of discipline. All right? Now, let's go ahead and review some questions here. Right? Bad fill. How costly was it? To be honest, it wasn't really that costly. I would say minor. You know, nothing crazy. You know, it was a 10-point late fill. You know, we still saw profits. You know, the trade still ran. It was still pretty good. Right? So I would say a minor fill. I mean, a minor costly issue. Right? What triggered it? Well, we use market order in fast tape. Yeah, I would say we use market order in fast tape, which means that, you know, as we tried entering at 591, you know, price was moving so fast that it filled us at 581 instead, right? The spread blew out. No, we had pretty good spread. Order route in chunks. Nope. Slippage during news. Nope, we did not get slippage. In fact, we just entered because, you know, while price was moving too fast, which caused price to obviously move, you know, give us our late fill, right? So yes, market, we use market, we got filled with the market order while price was moving really fast, right? So in one sentence, what rule would you keep next time? I would say just try to be faster with your fingers when entering, right? Obviously, the faster you are, the better the entry you get, right? So yeah, fear. How costly was it? To be honest, it didn't really do us, you know, we got a win off the trade, so it wasn't really costly at all, so I would put minor, right? What triggered it? Let me see, recent string of losses. Nah, not really. Account drawdown anxiety. Not really. Couldn't pull the trigger. No, we did actually. Bailed on a winner early. Not really. So in fact, I would say what triggered our fear? Honestly, I would just put here our fear was triggered due to price moving very aggressively. This causes sudden changes in the markets, but if everything, I'm not gonna put, just cause sudden changes in the markets. Okay, now with our wins, what did we do correctly with this trade? Well, did we follow our plan? Yes, we did. Did we have a patient entry? It could have been better. You know, I'm not gonna put that. Did we have a clean stop loss? Let me see. Yes, we did. And the reason I'm saying yes, we did is because we're placing our stop loss above our level of liquidity in which we're basing our buys from, which gives us a good structured base stop loss. So if price goes up above 629, then our bias was simply just wrong on this trade, right? So yes, we did have a pretty clean stop loss because we are using a structured base stop loss. Did we hold a runner? No, we didn't. I actually ended up getting stopped out at break even because the trade reversed after I took profits, right? So yeah, no, I technically did, right? Yes, I technically did hold a runner. Did I trust the setup? Yes, I did. Did I cut out quickly? Yes, I did, which I'll explain why in a second. Was this an A+ setup? Yes, I did. Or not yes, I did. Yes, it was. And did we scale in? No, we didn't, right? I do not scale into my setup, so I'll probably never check this out in my life, right? Anyways, let's see what we got here. So what did this trade teach the future you? Well, let me see. Well, to be honest, not much. I mean, it's kind of stuff I already knew, right? So, I know what to put here, right? And this is what, okay, so let me kind of take a step back. In fact, let me drink some water. Let me take a step back and drink water. One sec, guys. Oof, that water has never tasted any better. Oh, okay. Anyways, okay, so guys, this is where you guys need to pay attention. All right, guys? Okay, so let me show you guys something. All right. In this trade here, right? I said, okay, in this trade, I said, guys, we're up 50 points on this trade. I went ahead and scaled out most contracts here to flip my day from red to green. I'm holding my remaining contracts for the price targets lower with a near break-even stop loss to start going risk-free on this trade. Now, you might be wondering, okay, well, David, you took this inverse. You had very strong selling momentum, right? Why did you take profits here as we were going down before we actually hit the level of liquidity down here? Let me show you guys. All right. Now, before I show you guys on the chart, let me write it down in my journal, right? So what does this future trade teach me? Well, this trade actually taught me to read S&Ts. The reason I took profits, to read S&Ts between NQ and ES. All right, now notes. Pay attention, guys. Please pay attention here. All right, guys. All right, pay attention. All right, guys. This is gonna be very, very, very important. All right. So, in this trade, the notes. Okay. So, everything in this trade was perfect, right? Everything checked out in terms of confirmations, momentum, volume, inverses, etc. Right? One note I will tell myself to pay more attention to in the future is if ES is leading in the market and ES is going into a DOL before NQ does, always make sure to scale out on NQ, even though the PT or the DOL has not been hit. Wait, let me read this. So one note I would tell myself to pay more attention to in the future is if ES is leading in the markets and ES is going into a DOL before NQ does, always make sure to scale out on NQ, even though the drawn liquidity has not been hit. This is because if ES hits it, or if ES is leading the markets and causing, and no, if ES is leading the markets and ES takes out the DOL we're targeting on NQ first, if ES wants to reverse after the DOL has been hit and it ends up sweeping the DOL and reversing, since ES is leading, NQ can also reverse even if it doesn't take out the DOL we were targeting. All right. Who's the one that was asking me in the chat? Fortune LV. Do you understand what I mean now? And I'm gonna show you the chart in just a second. But do you understand why I'm writing this? To turn off subheadings for the quality of life. Okay, we'll try to do that. We'll try to do that. I got you, bro. I got you, Trancy. But yeah, Fortune LV. If you're still in here, let me know. Let me know. All right, now I'll put here, right? Okay, let me just fact check this. So one note I'll tell myself to pay more attention in the future is if ES is leading in the markets and ES is going into a DOL before NQ does. I believe so. Don't worry. I'll show you the chart now. I'll show you what I mean now in just a second. I'll show you what I mean. Hold on. Always make sure to scale out on NQ even though the DOL has not been hit. This is because if ES is leading the market and ES... Wait. And ES takes out the drawn liquidity before that we're talking on NQ first. If ES wants to reverse after the DOL has been hit and ends up sweeping and the DOL... ends up sweeping the DOL and reversing, since ES is leading, NQ can also reverse even though it hasn't taken out the DOL we're targeting. The reason NQ reverses before it even hits the DOL is because the main reason the market went down was because ES may have been leading the index, right? So if ES made the market go down into a DOL level and sweeps it, and ES ends up reversing, this SMT will cause NQ to also reverse before it even hits the DOL. I'll explain this in a second. Yeah, I'll explain it. Yeah, I got you. Right? So this is my note. Right now, let's look at the chart. Right? This is where you guys have to pay attention. All right, guys? Check this out. Okay, so the trade that we took today, or the shorts that we took today, right? Let me show you guys. Right? So let's check it out here. Right? So you have lower day drawn liquidity. Let's go ahead and just... We're not going to use this. I'm going to delete this. Boom. Okay. So the trade that I ended up taking was on the... What time frame did I take it on? This was on the 30-minute. Yeah, this was on the 30-minute time frame. Go down. I ended up inversing this fair value gap here. Okay, let me show you something. All right. Check this out, Fortune. And check this out, everyone. All right. Pay attention here. All right. Check this out, guys. Check this out. All right. So, look at this. All right. Where did we enter NQ short from? Right here. We put our stop loss, what was our stop loss? 662. Right there. PT1, 70 points. Right? A 1-to-1. Right? 1-to-1. Perfect. Okay. Why did I take profits on this trade earlier? Right here, I believe, right? Yeah. Why did I take profits here before we hit the drawn liquidity? Right? Because look at this. Remember the note that I put in the journal, right? Look at this. Look, we're in profits, right? We're in profits. We're up good. We're up green. We're nice. We're about to hit the drawn liquidity. You're like, okay, we're dumping right now. I'm gonna hold for lower, right? I'm not gonna scale out yet, but I'm gonna hold for lower. Look at the price, Fortune. Look at the price. Instant reversal up. Why did this happen? Even though we were holding below the drawn liquidity and we had selling pressure to see the next drawn liquidity down here. Let me show you. Look at this. Exactly. Look, Joey said it in the chat because ES took out the drawn liquidity first and started reversing. Exactly. Right. So check this out. Right. Look, we took this trade at 10:45 in the morning. Look at ES. Look at ES. Right. Are you guys ready? Look at this. At 10:45 in the morning. Right here. 10:45 right here. Look at this. I'm going to go to the 10:45 candle. Look at this. 10:45 in the morning. Right here. 10:45 right here. Look at this. At 10:45 in the morning. Right here. 10:45 right here. Look at this. I'm going to go to the 10:45 candle. Look at this. I'm going to go to the 10:45 candle. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look. Where did we enter NQ short from? Right here. We put our stop loss, Fortune and Joy. Look at this, guys. Look at what we did, right? So ES hit the level of liquidity first before NQ did. Do you see what I mean? So as ES was leading the markets lower, since ES was stronger to the downside, once ES has successfully taken out its objectives to the downside, if ES wants to reverse and sweep this level of liquidity after it's been taken out, since ES reverses back up, right, it causes the markets to go back up, which is what stopped us out right over here at break even, right? So I'm like, okay, so I'm in shorts on NQ, right? You see what I mean? You see, exactly, bro, exactly. You always have to be watching both charts so you know what's leading and what's not leading, right? So as I entered NQ shorts, right, as I saw the market dump, I quickly opened the ES and I saw that it took out one of my levels of liquidity. So I'm like, okay, well, if ES happens to be the one leading in the market, I definitely want to be taking profits here before ES possibly reverses, and then Q reverses before we hit the draw liquidity. So this is just an extra safe point to actually take profits. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just like an extra take profit level pretty much, right? So the reason I told you guys, hey, I'm scaling out here at 50 points before we even hit the price target is mainly because ES hit the level of liquidity. So if ES wants to reverse and go back up, and you could do the same exact thing without even taking out the level of liquidity. Let me see. So someone say here, if ES would have been moving slower, we would have hit the draw liquidity on NQ first. Exactly. Exactly. Why? Because if if NQ was moving more aggressively, that means that NQ would have been the leading index during that time. All right. But since ES was the leading index, ES took out the level of liquidity first and then reversed, which is why we saw a random pump after we got the dump off the inverse of the fair value gap. You see what I mean, guys? That's what I'm telling you. Always pay attention to the two at the same time. Always. This tells you what's happening in the markets. All right. So that's why I put here in my journal under the notes, which I'll go ahead and copy and paste for you guys, just in case you guys do need it in the chat. Let me open up my YouTube real quick. One sec. Right here. Oh, and I can't even send it because it's way too long. One sec, guys. One sec. One sec, guys. I'm going to copy and paste it in the chat so you guys have your notes, all right? There you go. Hold on, one sec. Dude, how long is this note? Damn. Okay, there you go. So I went ahead and sent it in the chat. If you guys want to take a screenshot of it or save it to your notes by copying and pasting it, go ahead and feel free to. All right, but this is the note behind the trade that we took today, the winning trade. All right, so let's share some charts here. Some charts. Oh my goodness, bro, dude. My grammar, dude. My goodness. Right? Do you think Asia is gonna be smooth since NQ was kind of indecisive? Hopefully, bro. Hopefully. Asia's gonna open up in 10 minutes actually. So I'm about to end the stream right now, actually, very soon. But let me finish journaling this trade. Right? So let me send the screenshots of the SMT and everything. So let me just go here. This is on the 15-minute time frame. Then let's go down here, copy, paste, and then let's go over here on ES and show that ES right here. Reason why NQ reversed before it hit the DOL was because ES was the leading index this morning and took out the DOL before NQ did and reversed, causing NQ to follow ES, SMT, right, and pump up before the DOL was taken out on NQ. There we go. Okay, there we go. And then we just put here ES 15-minute time frame. Right here. Just put ES 15-minute time frame. There you go. And we'll just make this big. Boom. There you go. All right, just so we have an organized chart, and just like that, we paste it on there. Boom. Just like that, we go ahead and save our trade. There we go. And just like that, guys, Are you not streaming Asia? No, I will not be streaming Asia. I never really typically stream Asia. Plus, dude, I have been on my computer talking all day long today. If I'm gonna trade, bro, I want to be a little bit more calm, to be honest. but yeah. Anyways, so yeah, guys. So today I ended up losing, like I said, about $100. Nothing crazy. Like, I'm sure I can make it back if I get a good trade. But yeah, so I ended up losing about $78 according to my journal here. We got one losing trade and one winning trade. We reviewed both trades. One was an A+ perfect setup, and then one of them was a pretty bad graded setup. If we go to our dashboard, our stats for today, we had a 50% win rate with a total of a -1 risk reward. We broke 2 of our rules with an average win of $497 per trade and an average loss of $575 per trade for a net P&L of $78 lost today in my P&L. All right, guys. So I really hope you guys did learn something new with today's stream. We've been streaming for like we've been streaming for 2 hours now, guys. So yeah, I really hope you guys learned something new. It was really nice talking to you guys and everything. But someone said here, get on live, bro. Streaming harder than 95 head at, but yeah, not like that, bro. Either, yeah, come on now, bro. Not like that either, bro. But bro, dude, I've been on my computer since like 8 in the morning, bro. Like, I'm exhausted, dude. So if I do end up trading, bro, I'll probably just alert it like through text, bro. Give me a break, bro. I haven't even ate today, bro. Come on now, bro. Come on now. but yeah. Other than that, guys, like I said, I really hope you guys did enjoy watching us use this website. Like I said, it should be released to the public by next week because everything is pretty much fully ready. I mean, everything works pretty good, to be honest. I mean, yeah, everything works here really good. You know, micros, you know, everything works. You know what I mean? So yeah. Much love to you guys. Thank you for saying love you, Brody, bro. Much love to you, man. Seriously, man. But yeah, this website will be live very, very soon. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned something new today. I definitely did. And yeah, hopefully we don't make the same mistake again. All right, guys. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. I'm gonna take a little 10-minute break, and I'm gonna get back on for Asia later tonight, so I can get some trades for you guys. All right, guys. So yeah, just stay active in the alert channel. If I take anything, I will post the alert for it. All right, guys. Take it easy, guys. Peace. Enjoy your days, guys. Peace, guys.